Good afternoon to all of you. Recently, I met with an accident, and that's why I cannot able to take the video classes. And for that, I'm very sorry. Okay. And one thing I want to tell you is those whoever they want the online tuitions, I'm going to take that online tuitions also. And those who are interested in intermediate standard, degree standard, and PG standard, they can avail this opportunity, and I am giving my phone number, and you can contact with that phone number, and you can take online tuitions also. And my phone number is 9849238902. Okay, so this is the thing that I want to tell you. And regarding the subjects also, okay, regarding the subjects also, I can take up the theory as well as problematic on online tuitions. And those who want to take this opportunity, okay, I can take banking, I mean, accept banking because I didn't touch that banking. And regarding the second languages and first languages, English and Telugu, okay, optional subjects, that is, those are problematic, those are problematic for the people and those who cannot able to understand. I am going to take online tuitions, and I hope that I can satisfy you and those people who want to take this online tuitions. Okay, they can avail this opportunity, and I hope that I can do justice for this online tuitions. Okay, apart from this video classes, those people who want to take online tuitions, I can able to take that. Okay. And again, I'm telling you my phone number 9849238902. This is about the phone number and the details that I want to give. Okay. And after that, coming to the video classes. Okay. I have taken this partnership business too, regarding dissolution of partnership business, insolvency of partnership business, and sale to a company. Okay, once again, I'm repeating this insolvency of a partner. When any partner, when he becomes insolvent, okay, when he becomes insolvent, okay, actually, when there is no agreement of partnership, according to Indian Partnership Act of 1932, whenever any person retires or when he expires or becomes insane or insolvent, that partnership business must be closed. But the existing partners or the running partners or the continuing partners, they have to make an adjustment, and they have to make a proposal, but the partnership must continue. Okay, that the partnership must continue. So whenever they make an adjustment like this, automatically the partnership business will continue. Okay, so this is the thing that we will come across. Okay, and in partnership insolvency, that is when he partner, when he become insolvent, then automatically the solvent partners, they have to share the deficiency in their capital ratios. Okay. For this, there is a beautiful case that was occurred in London, that is nothing but Garner versus Murray case. And in that case, okay, the people, they argue, some people they argued that the deficiency of the insolvent partner, it must be shared in the profit sharing ratio. And some people they argued that it is not a trading profit or trading loss, it is the deficiency, because that person is unable to pay off these debts. Okay, whenever any person, when he is unable to pay off his debts, that deficiency, it should not be distributed in the profit sharing ratio. So the court, it had given a judgment that whenever any partner, when he becomes insolvent and when he is unable to pay the deficiency whatever he had, okay, that deficiency, it must be shared by the solvent partners in their capital ratios only. Okay, in their capital ratios only. That is the judgment given by the court of law. Okay, here one thing you have to take into account. So what is solvent and what is insolvent? See, when you take a glass of water and when you dip, when you keep sugar or salt, and when you tilt that, automatically the sugar or the salt, it will dissolve in the water. It will dissolve in the water. We'll call that thing as solvent. And in the place of salt or sugar, when you take sand and when you tilt that, the sand, it won't dissolve in the water. So it will become the residue, or it will go to the bottom and it will remain as a residue. So that is insolvent. In the same way, in a partnership business, okay, all the partners, they have liabilities, they have debts to clear because they are working combinedly. So when any partner, when he cannot able to pay off his debts, pay off his liabilities or debts, whatever it may be, then we can say that person is an insolvent person. And when any person, when he become insolvent, he has to inform that to the other partners that I cannot able to pay off the debts, whatever I am having. Then the partnership firm, it will inform the same matter to the registrar. We are having registrar of partnership businesses as well as registrar of companies. So the partnership firm, it will inform that to the registrar of partnership businesses. And the registrar, what he will do is he will appoint a person and he will send the person to the partnership business. And that person will call him as liquidator, liquidator, official liquidator. And that official liquidator, he'll come to the partnership business and he will take charge. That is, he will hand over all the assets and liabilities, whatever it may be. And immediately he will realize them assets in the market and he see, okay, who is insolvent, who is unable to pay the debts and who is able to pay the debts. So the persons who are able to pay the debts, we'll call them as solvent partners, and who is unable to pay the debts, we'll call him as insolvent partner. Then the person, he will take into account all the accounts of the partners and he will see the insolvent partner, what is the deficiency that is there for him to pay the outside liabilities or outside debts. And that deficiency, whatever it may be, okay, he has to inform that to the solvent partners, and the solvent partners, they have to share that deficiency in their profit share, I mean, in their capital ratios, not profit sharing, in their capital ratios. So then what will happen is the insolvent partner, he will be out from the partnership business, and the solvent partners, if they want to continue the business, they can continue the business, or if they want to close the business and if they want to take away their shares, they can take away their shares. Like this, the insolvency of a partner will come into existence. So this is the very, very important thing that we come across. And some people, they may ask me, sir, when the partners, when they are when they are following this capital, fixed capital method and fluctuating capital method. Okay, in fixed capital method, the partners' capitals, they will remain constant. That is, whatever it may be, the opening capital, it will be the closing capital. So first, what they will do is they'll prepare the current accounts. They'll prepare the current accounts and they'll come to know about the deficiency of the insolvent partner. And whatever it may be, the deficiency, okay, they have to distribute that in their capital ratios. And in this context, I'm going to tell you one thing, that is, whatever it may be, the loss that was incurred by the partners, they have to bring the same proportion of cash from their private property. Why they will bring? In order to equalize and in order to get the capital amounts correctly. And whatever it may be, the current account balances, whether it may be a debit balance or a credit balance, they must be transferred to the capitals. So when they are transferring the balance to the capitals, automatically you will come across the closure of the current accounts. And now only the capital accounts will remain. Then they will share the deficiency in their capital ratios and they will make the insolvent partner to go out from the partnership business. This is how we'll come across in insolvency of a partner. Okay, so dissolution is dissolution of the partnership firm. There is a lot of difference between dissolution of partnership business and dissolution of partnership firm. Dissolution of partnership business means whenever their business, when it is getting continuously losses, okay, then they will decide to close the business. And there is a lot of difference between partnership firm. Individually, one person, we will call him as a partner, and collectively, we will call all the partners as partnership firm. Okay, so whenever you come across dissolution means you have to take that it is nothing but dissolution of partnership firm, but not dissolution of partnership business. Please note this point. There is a lot of difference between dissolution of partnership business and dissolution of partnership firm. Okay, whenever you come across dissolution, okay, it is nothing but dissolution of partnership firm only. So I just am taking this partnership dissolution as well as insolvency, okay, brush up. Okay, now we are going to sell to a company. Okay, when a company wants to start its business, okay, it has to follow so many formalities, legal formalities laid down by the court of law. That is, they have to get the certificate of incorporation. And when the private companies or the public companies, whomever it may be, they have to submit all the documents to the registrar of companies, and the registrar of companies, after satisfaction of all these documents, then he will issue a certificate, and that certificate is known as certificate of incorporation. And private companies, they can start their own business after getting the certificate of incorporation. But the public companies, they have to wait until another certificate will come from the partnership, registrar of companies. And that is nothing but certificate of commencement of business. Certificate of commencement of business. And after getting the certificate of incorporation, commencement of business only, the public companies are eligible to do the business or carry on the business. Okay, it will take some time. Getting this certificate of commencement of business, it will take some time. Meanwhile, the company people, what they will do is they will go and survey. Okay, what is the type of business, what is the nature of business that we want to do, whether any similar type of business is going on or not. When they found that a partnership business, when it is doing the same type of business or similar type of business, then they will approach the partnership business people, partnership business, and they will ask, we are going to purchase your business. We are going to purchase your business. And if the partners, if they agree to sell their business, then we'll come to the situation or come to the process that is nothing but sale to a company. When a company wants to purchase a business, okay, it has to pay some price. We'll call that thing as purchase price or purchase consideration. And this purchase consideration, either the partnership business people, they will decide, or the company people, they will decide. Anything it will happen. Okay, generally the partnership business people and the partners, they will decide about the purchase consideration, taking into account the goodwill amount. Taking into account the goodwill amount. Main thing is that thing. So what they will do is, we want this much amount. Okay, when you want to purchase our business, you have to pay us this much amount of money. And this purchase consideration, it will be calculated in 4 ways. Okay, in 4 ways it can be calculated. First one is net assets method, second one is net payments method, and third one is shares exchange method, and last one is lump sum method. Actually, this lump sum method, it was followed previously, but after some time it was completely banned. It was completely abolished, and only three methods they are following. That is net assets method, net payments method, and share exchange method. Shares exchange method. What is net assets method, sir? Here, the company people, they take into account all the assets of the partnership business. In the same way, okay, they will also take into account the outside liabilities, not the inside liabilities, outside liabilities, those things which are to be paid first or given preference first. Those outside liabilities they will take, and they will deduct the outside liabilities from the total assets, and whatever it may be, the recipient or the result, we'll call that thing as net assets. Net assets. And this net assets, the purchasing company, it has to pay in the form of shares. In the form of shares, it has to pay. Okay, so that is nothing but payment of purchase consideration in the form of shares to the partnership business. And the second thing is net payment method. So what is this net payment method? Net payment method means the company people, okay, after consultation with the partnership businesses, they will agree to pay some shares in the form of some shares, the purchase consideration, in the form of cash, or sometimes both. In very, very rare circumstances only, they will go for debentures. So once if the purchase consideration was completed, was finalized, okay, what is the position of the partnership business? The position of partnership business will come to an end. There is no question, there won't be any partnership business that exists, because already the company people, they have purchased the partnership business, and the partners in the partnership business, they will become the shareholders of the company by accepting the shares, by accepting the cash, or both the things, or sometimes in the form of debentures also they will pay. So whatever it may be the form, whether it may be in the form of shares, whether it may be in the form of share debentures, whether it may be in the form of cash, or completely three. So we'll call that thing as net payments method. Okay, here in net payments method also, they, the company people, they will pay the purchase consideration. They will pay the purchase consideration by taking over the outside liabilities as well as assets of the partnership business. And shares exchange method. Okay, shares exchange method means, okay, suppose if the partners, if they have some shares that, okay, yeah, for example, I'm giving a small example in this context. Okay, A is having this much share, B is having this much share, C is having this much share, ABC or partners. So the company people, what they will do is they will give A some share in their business, B some share. Then in there itself, okay, you will come across exchange of shares. Exchange of shares. Okay, suppose if A is having 1.5 share in the partnership business, so they'll tell that for this 1.5 portion, we are going to give you this many number of shares. And for B, suppose if he is having 1/3, okay, for 1/3 portion, okay, we are giving this many shares. And if C is having 1/6, for this, we are going to give this many shares. Like that, like this. Then and there itself, the shares will be exchanged. So through that method also, the purchase consideration will be paid to the partnership business people. Okay, once if the purchase consideration was paid by the company to the partnership business people, then the business of the partnership or the partnership business will come to an end. So from next day onwards, they will become the shareholders of the company. So in this way, a company people, they what they will do is they will purchase a partnership business who is running the same or similar type of business. So thereby, okay, the company people, So what is the benefit that the company people they will get? You may ask me. The company people they will get, okay, a standard that this is the type of business that we have to start, and already we have some ground. Okay, for for any company there should be a ground. So when they are purchasing the partnership business doing the same or similar type of business, automatically there will be a foundation for the company people. Thereby, on that foundation they can develop. With that opinion only, the company people they will go and purchase the partnership business. That is nothing but sale to a company. So this is how you will come across partnership business. Okay, I told you in the previous video classes about admission of a partner, retirement of a partner, death of a partner. Okay, after that, dissolution of partnership firm. Okay, insolvency of a partner, and sale to a company. Okay, sometimes see the peculiarity. Sometimes all the partners they will become insolvent. In that case, okay, it is a headache of the official receiver appointed by the register of businesses, partnership businesses. It is headache of that person. What he will do is he will take over all the assets and liabilities of the partnership business, and he will realize them in the market. That is all the assets he will realize them in the market, and when there he will go for the importance of the liabilities. Okay, importance of the liabilities. Which liabilities we have to pay first, which liabilities we have to pay second, and which one we have to take at last. All these things, it is the headache of, and it is the problem of the official receiver. And according to the category, he will clear the liabilities. And whatever it may be the deficiency, okay, he will inform that, and that deficiency it will be cancelled or strike off. This is how you will come across when all partners when they become insolvent. This is the thing that I want to tell you, okay, regarding this partnership business. Now we are going for joint stock companies. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, and why a joint stock company came into existence? What for? Taking into account the various disadvantages that we come across in partnership business, a joint stock company came into existence. When you take into account the business forms, when you take into account the business forms, we are having four types of business forms, four or five types of business forms, five types, sorry, not four, five types of business forms. What are they? First one is sole trader. Second one is HUF, Hindu Undivided Family. Okay, Hindu Undivided Family. And third one is partnership business. Okay, third one is partnership business. And after that, you will have the joint stock company. Okay, third one, fourth one is joint stock company. And the fifth one is cooperative society. Like this, you will come across five business forms. And taking into account, okay, the various disadvantages of partnership business, a joint stock company came into existence. And what is a joint stock company? It is a company created by court of law. It is a company created by court of law. That is, it is not an artificial person created by court of law. A joint stock company. Okay. Now, when you go for a joint stock company, what are the characteristics that we come across? The characteristics are nothing but whatever it may be, the disadvantages that we come across in partnership business, all the disadvantages, they are removed. They are removed, and you will come across a standard type of business that will give you the characteristic features of a joint stock company. First one is limited capital. See, when you come across partners, okay, in partnership business, I told you that minimum number is 2 and maximum number is 20 for other businesses and 10 for banking businesses. Okay, and in very, very rare circumstances only you will come across 20 and 10. But generally speaking, you'll come across 2 persons or at the most 4 persons, 3 or 4 persons. In that case, Okay, whatever it may be, the capitals contributed by the partners, they are not sufficient. Why? Because every partnership business or every business wants to develop, wants to develop, okay, wants to expand their business. Okay, when their business is going on fruitfully and soundly, okay, they don't want to stay in that cocoon. They want to spread up, they want to extend their business. When they want to expand their business, automatically the main thing is capital requirement. So there the capital is very, very limited. In that limited capital, how can they expand? They cannot expand. And that problem, it was solved in this company type of business. So how it will be? What is the total capital that is required by us? And they will divide that total capital into small, small segments. And each segment will call that thing as a share. And every share will have a face value or par value. That is like 10 rupees share. So 10 rupees is nothing but the face value or par value of that. And whomever they are interested, they can take this shares, as many number of shares they can, and they have to give the amount. Thereby, the capital amount will be expanded. Okay, the capital amount will will improve. Thereby, they can expand their business, they can do their business on a large scale. Okay, next, members. Okay, as I told you already that minimum 2 members and maximum 20 for other businesses and 10 for banking business. In joint stock company, it is not like that. In joint stock company, it is not like that. Only private companies only, they will take into account their friends or relatives. But when you go for a public company, any person can take the shares when he is having enough money with him. Okay, so thereby what is happening is the number it is increasing. The number it is increasing. Okay, next, the third one is liability. Okay, when you go for partnership business, even partnership business, it is suffering from limited liability. Limited liability. When you go for a joint stock company, that thing it will be solved. That is, it is unlimited. The liability is unlimited. And that liability also, it is limited up to the face value of the share. Once if a person, if he pays the complete face value of the share, then the liability is not having. He won't have any liability. So that liability, it was limited to the face value of the share. And one more thing is, the persons, they are entirely different and the company is entirely different. Why, sir? Because company is nothing but an artificial person created by court of law. That thing you have to keep in mind. All the people, they have to keep in mind that a company is an artificial person created by court of law. And beginning of a company is very cumbersome, very severe. In the same way, closing up the business is also, company business is also very, very cumbersome. It is very, very difficult. That is, we have to follow so many legal formalities to either to start a business, company business, or to close a company business. We have to follow so many legal formalities. Okay, this is how you will come across. So I'm going to tell you about the company and its the characteristics features. Okay. Excuse me. And regarding this subjects, all optional subjects, except second language and some theory part, theory subjects, I cannot. And regarding the problematic subjects, whatever I want, I can tell you, I can take you the tuitions. That's why I want to tell you again and again. Okay. With this, I'm closing this, and tomorrow I'm going for the company type of business. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you once again.